What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that fun stuff. Now, this video I have been making for months on end. What would it be? Probably almost 6 months now. So I kind of always had an idea in my head with the BMW what I wanted it to look like. I already knew the wheels I wanted to put on. The color was always kind of in my mind, things like that. Now, once I did the fender filler fitment video for the BMW, I was always on the lookout for these wheels, knowing that to get perfect fitment in these wheels is going to be almost impossible in a second-hand kind of scenario. You guys will know if you're looking for second-hand wheels. If you're looking for a specific fitment, specific wheels, specific diameter in a second-hand market, like it's a needle in a haystack. So anyway, I was on Facebook Marketplace one day and I saw them pop up and I was like, I'm pretty sure they're the exact fitment I want. I wanted 19s, I wanted this model, and they were. So had to jump on it. They were very, very rough. As you will see in the upcoming video, they were really rough. They were chrome and all the chrome was peeling off. Every single one was terribly curb rashed, one was buckled. So there was quite a bit of work I had to do to them. And you will see that through this whole video, and I'm going to show you the complete refurbishment of these wheels for the BMW. Now, I am going to upset a bunch of people with this because I did not rebuild them into factory spec, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. But when you see what I mean, have a look at a picture of the BMW. Actually, I'll throw one up right here and you'll see the color of the wheels and you see how good they work with this paint. So be aware. Now, I know this is gonna be bad for my video because I obviously want you all to watch the whole thing all the way to the end. So for me to give you the juicy bit right at the beginning is actually terrible for my analytics because a lot of people will probably click off the video after that. So for those of you who stick around to the end, you are angels. Thank you very much. I appreciate you so much. But it's Christmas, so I'm gonna give you the juicy stuff right at the beginning. I'm gonna show you what they did look like and then what they do look like right now. So, without further ado, let's jump on into this video and show you guys the whole process. Okay, so as you can see, these are really rough. This is probably the best, and you can see the chrome's flaking off. Real bad. This is probably the best one for curb rash. Like, this is the best one. You know, this one, pretty fried. They're all pretty fried, right? So obviously it's a rebuild job, but what I want to do today is we're going to bolt these to the car, start the car. Don't worry, I've got a hoist under it and a jack, so all like safety precautions. Wow, that chrome is terrible. Ugh. And we have a little kit right here that I made up. So you got pretty savage file here, a finer one here, ignore the screwdriver, and then you've got like 400, 1500, and we got 2000 down there as well. I'm gonna go to probably about 1500, and we're gonna start the car, get the wheels spinning, and slowly just touch this with the file until it all feels nice and smooth. And then we're gonna go to the smaller one, the smaller one, the smaller one. So like this one, for example, I will start with the small file and then go straight to sandpaper because it's not that bad. And then once we've done that, they're going to have the tires ripped off, pulled apart, sandblasted everything, and then redo the whole thing. We're even gonna sandblast the lip. So everything's gonna get sandblasted and then we'll go from there. So to start with, we can definitely save some money on this rebuild by fixing this up ourselves, because that is exactly what a wheel shop is gonna do as well. They're gonna have to grind this down. I made sure there weren't any really deep chunks, like properly into the rim, that are gonna need to be welded or anything like that, because that's a big ordeal. Obviously I can't do that myself. So that's why I picked these up. They're a fair price, they need a rebuild, they need a refresh, and I knew I could do a whole bunch of it myself. So let's set one up, get into it. Now, obviously guys, if you're gonna do this, make sure everything's okay. I'm not down with the cool kids and what they do. And I actually make sure that my rims don't hit my brakes. I have factory brakes on this, so it's not a big issue. But yeah, make sure that's a thing. I I don't know why I need to say that, but apparently I do. So I'm not recommending anybody do this. This is what I'm doing. This is not a how-to. This is just a watch for entertainment. So bolt it on, nice and tight. We've got jack under, we've got a hoist under. I'm gonna start it, put it in first, and just slowly at the same point, so like this one's not too bad. So I'm gonna start with a little baby file, and I'm just gonna hold it. Just gonna hold it there, real gentle, until it's smooth as, right? Once it's there, sandpaper. Once it's there, finer sandpaper, until I'm happy with this absolute outer edge. See, that's the worst bit right there. So obviously I'm gonna have to be grinding it all down to, like that's protruding, you know? So it's just gonna be taking that off. Yeah, pretty simple, pretty simple. Obviously there's clear coat on this because these are factory. So when we sandblast, that's all gonna come off, but it's gonna be needed. And it'll all be apart when I do that. We're not machining these ones apart. This is just going to be cleanup of everything and kind of just redo them. So yeah, let's jump in. I'll time lapse you. I'll show you one. I'll do them all, and yeah, you'll be able to see what they're like at the end. Final product. I hope you guys can see that, but it's smooth as now, smooth as a baby's bum. So yeah, this is going to get sandblasted. Even like I said, like even the lips are going to get sandblasted. So that curb rash is done. That's sorted. Once that's sandblasted, we're sweet. Good to go to the next stage. All right, and there we are. So no more curb rash. Some bits were quite deep, like for example, this mark here is quite deep. Now I don't want to pull the material all the way back to that mark just to get one little mark out. I'm happy with that. Others may not be if they're with their rims. There's also another one here that's very deep, and he's got a little buddy. Look, I'm very happy how they've come out. They've come out really good compared to how they were. They were terrible. It looked like someone was driving with their eyes closed. So they're a million times better than they were. And once we get them blasted and go back over and polish them up, all that sort of stuff, or whatever we're gonna do, you'll barely even see it. And I'm gonna be running some stretch tires on these. I'm actually gonna be running this size tire, so I'm gonna have this much stretch. So look, a little rock can just like nick that, and then all of a sudden you're at this position. And the thing is, if I'm driving and I nick it here, when I've gone down to there, then I have to go down even further, you know? I want to give myself a little bit of leeway if in the future I want to go ahead and do it again if anything happens, you know, someone runs me up a curb or something like that. I don't know. Fingers crossed that never happens. Now, I did notice, I think it's this one, has a slight buckle in it. That's fine. I know a shop that can fix that. They just chuck it on the machine, straighten it out. So I am going to go and get all these tires ripped off because they're from 2015, so they're not going to get run, they're all going to get thrown in the bin. And then I'll take all 4 to that shop, get them to check them out, make sure they're running true, fix up the one that has a buckle. If any others have a slight buckle, then they can fix that as well. I'm assuming if one has one, 2 have it, because obviously the same type of car. So I'll get them to check them all out and fix them all, then rip them apart. Quick side note guys, if you're going to do this with your bagged crown, when you got to put it back down, it's going to sack out. Now I actually have it set as the highest setting, but when you jack the car up, you start the car, it runs, the level sensor, or height sensor, sorry, will go, oh wow, we're higher than we need to be, we need to pull air out, and then it will pull some air out, and then again and again and again until the bag is completely empty, right? So then you put the car back down, assuming that you're at highest height, and it's going to sack out and you're going to collapse onto your jack. So when you're going down, as you can see I'm on boards, do the jack really slowly, and then when it gets close to the jack and the, you know, the arches start tucking a little bit, lock it in, let your compressor start up, let it bag up a bit, and then go again, and so on and so forth until you've got the car back on the ground. Be careful, do not drop your crown on your jack. right, so we have the buckled wheel in the back. So I went and got all the tires taken off, got the guys there to do a bit of a spin up of all the wheels, make sure I've only got one buckle, which sure enough, only got one with a buckle. So I'm gonna take that to New Way Wheels at Heidelberg, give them the wheels, get them to sort that out, and then we can kind of start with the dismantling and refreshing of my wheels. All right, so they're all pulled apart. I'm just putting them in the car at the moment. I just want you guys to see how cooked these are. Like, they're terrible. Look at the oxidation in here. On some of them, actually this is one of them, I had to WD-40 and like scour this just to make sure that they were all +20 fitment. So they're all +20. Fronts are 8, rears are 9. And they're all 19s, obviously, because I love running big wheels, big wheel gang. But yeah, they're cooked. So I'm gonna take these in, get them sandblasted, get all this taken off, get all the oxidation taken off, and then we're gonna go and get them powder coated on this beautiful new color. All right, so we got the wheels back. These are all painted and powder coated. So powder coated, and then we painted on top because it was doing a weird reaction. We wanted to get it perfectly flat, so we did the paint. Now, I've got them out here so they can warm up a bit because the center is a really tight fit in these. So I put it out here, it's about 30 degrees today. Hopefully they'll warm up a bit, and then I can just drop the centers in. So these have been out here for like an hour or so. I'm gonna take one inside, set it up on the table, and then see if I can drop it in. If I can't, I'm gonna pop it back out here and put the center in the freezer and hope that that changes, shrinks the metal just that ever so slight amount. And if I can't do that, if it's still not working, I'm not sure, I might have to talk to a mate and figure something else out. So let's hope that this works. All right, so they're still not fitting perfectly, but they're close enough that you can pull them in with the bolts. So as you can see on the back of the spoke, there's 3 bolts here that actually bolt into the spoke on each one. So I'm doing one on each, slowly pulling it all the way in until they're nice and tight. I'll put all of them in, and then I'll put all the hardware in and tighten all them up, torque them, and then I'll pull all of these out one at a time and then Loctite them in and torque spec them as they go in. So this is gonna take me hours. I'll bring you guys back when they're all together. All right, all back together. all Loctited, all torque spec'd. Alright, so that is the video, guys. Now, obviously you guys saw we went from completely curb rashed and peeling chrome to a bit of a home job of fixing the rash, like the curb rash. It was so aggressive that I needed to take it down quite a bit. So I obviously used the file, used the things like that, just to bring it down and bring it kind of within tolerance, I guess you could say. I didn't want to take it all the way down because some of them were really deep, and some of the paint actually filled that a bit, hid that a bit. So these rims are like 99.98% perfect. They have got a couple little tiny divots. I don't even know if you'd call them divots, but maybe you could call them marks right on the edge of the lip, but you can't see them, so it's fine. Especially for, like I said, getting the specs, the offset, the diameter, and the style that I wanted, all in a second-hand good price in Australia. Like, it was literally around the corner for me to go pick up. It was, I couldn't not get them. So, you know, as I was saying, sorry, we went, fixed the curb rash as much as we could. I then went and got the buckled wheels straightened up, which was great. From there, I went and got, I pulled them all apart, which was a bit of a mission. Then I went and got everything sandblasted. Then we went and got the centers and the lips all powder coated. Now, they did react slightly on the lips. So what I ended up doing was I went through and wet sanded all the lips, cleaned them up, got them perfectly flat, then took them to my painter that helped me paint the BMW and the Supra. He then and gloss blacked the lips and then put like 4 coats of clear over the lips as well, so that we can eventually sand them back with 2000 and polish them up like glass. At the moment, again, they're like 98%, but I want to get the tires put on them, get them like mounted and ready. Then we'll go there and we'll polish them up, because I don't want to polish them and then put wheels on and scratch them a bit. I know more wheels are going to get put on, like tires are going to get put on the rims, etc., etc. But to do this one polish, the first polish, let's get the tires on, then we'll polish them up so they'll look even better when they go on the car. Now, apologies, I cannot put them on the car today because these are a 114.3x5. They're a Japanese wheel. You guys know this build is kind of Japanese style, like kind of JDM inspired, with the seats, with the wheels, with a bunch of other stuff that's happening to the car you will see in the future. So I can't put them on right now because I have to do a full wheel hub swap, but at that time I'm going to be doing a wheel hub swap to the 5x114.3. I'm going to be doing upgraded, well, kind of upgraded brakes. I'm going to do dimple drilled and slotted brakes. I'm going to do new pads. I'm going to do bearings. So it's all fresh around there as well. So that's going to be an upcoming video. Once that's on, we can do the reveal of the car on these wheels. But you guys are just going to have to hit that sub button and hang around to see what happens in the future with the BMW and to see those wheels go on. So, hope you guys have a beautiful Christmas and holidays and New Year's and all that. And I will see you all in the next one. See you guys.